What is time now for weather with Nebraska Extension ag climatologist and Market Journal chief meteorologist Al Dutcher. Well, Al, some parts of southeast Nebraska saw some rain in the middle parts of the week. Certainly won't complain about the moisture, but as we look to the coming week, how are things shaping up?
Well, Bryce, we did have that cold front come through during the midweek period that dropped some thunderstorm activity across southeastern Nebraska. But as you move to the wet north and northwest of there, the precipitation total dropped off pretty significantly. Most locations less than a tenth of an inch. And to be honest with you, the northwestern half of the state, less than basically zero. We had zero precipitation. Southeast Nebraska, anywhere from a quarter to 3/4 inch was common. There were a few isolated pockets around the 1 inch mark. Some welcome moisture, but unfortunately not enough to have any major drought-breaking concerns. We've had to deal with wind, and we're likely to deal with wind and cooler conditions as we go through this next 7-day period as we're dealing with an upper air trough over the Great Lakes region. So if we go to the upper air model, this morning we see that upper air low parked over the western Great Lakes, bringing cold air aloft in the upper atmosphere into a region that will reinforce surface temperatures. So we're going to remain consistently in the low to mid 60s across much of eastern Nebraska, and we'll be pushing the upper 60s to low 70s across the southwest and the southern panhandle. As we go into Sunday, basically we see a northerly flow as this trough broadens out. That's going to bring a reinforcing shot of cool air. Most likely to the most impacted will be northeast Nebraska, but that should still consistently keep us into the mid to upper 60s, and we'll see mid 70s potential from western Nebraska. On Monday, this trough kind of slides a little bit toward the southeast. That allows a little bit warmer area into our region, so we should see temperatures in the mid 70s west, maybe even an isolated 80 in the southwest, and we'll be pushing the low 70s across the east. On Tuesday, now the system kind of drops down toward the south. We have the blocking high pressure system not allowing the trough to come into the west, so much warmer conditions move into western Nebraska. Would not be surprised we'll see mid 70s to even low 80s. And in eastern Nebraska, we're pushing into the low to mid 70s. Now, as we get into the midweek period, we start to see this low pressure system trying to make a move toward the east, but there's another piece of energy coming on the backside that may reinforce this. That's the uncertainty of forecast of the second half of the week. This moves out quicker, then we don't see this trough impacting us, but overall, we're expecting to see some fairly benign conditions, maybe a little clouds in eastern Nebraska, no precipitation, temperatures consistently holding in the 70s across the east, up to the upper 70s, low 80s across the west. On Thursday, here comes that piece of energy that's going to pivot around this low. That will start to bring cooler air in, particularly as we get into Friday. So we will see one more day of fairly decent temperatures, mid to upper 70s west, low to mid 70s across the east. And as we get into the day on Friday, here comes that cold air to reinforce us once again with a cooling trend, probably dropping a good 5 to 10 degrees. Doesn't look like much precipitation associated with the system, but we'll have to pay attention to see whether the models change on this. Looking farther out in the future, next Thursday the following Tuesday, above normal temperatures with that high pressure system in place, and this will likely stay this way until that upper air trough finally moves off toward the east. In terms of precipitation, upper low comes into the western United States. So we are going to see an increase in precipitation. At some point, we'll start to see this move out in the plains, but right now it doesn't look until it will be at least the 22nd or later for our region.